Hariom friends, and welcome to the eighth part of the introduction to the Vijayanagara Empire series. I know this part has been some time in coming. I got sidetracked on a lot of different projects. So this is what happens when you have too many hobbies and too less time. Everything moves at a snail's pace. So in the last part, we had a look at an overview of the Hoysala Kingdom. So somebody, my pronunciation is probably still wrong. Somebody corrected my comments last time. So thank you for that. And we also looked at you know the beginning of the Muslim invasion of the Hoysala kingdom. So Malik Kafur, who was Alauddin Khilji's right hand and trusted general, he had advanced with a large army through the Yadav kingdom, and he was somewhere at Pandharpur, which was near the border of the Hoysala and the Yadav domains. In this part, I thought we'll have a look at the Pandya kingdom, which the Pandyas were very powerful rulers of present-day Tamil Nadu, and they were the successors to the Chola Empire. And we'll also have a look at the Kafur's attack on Dwarasamudram or Halibut, which was the capital of the Hoysala Empire. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into this. So this is a map again I got from Wikipedia. I think this was done by probably a Portuguese speaking or a European person. So anyway, it shows you the kind of the extent of the Pandya Empire under Maravarun Kulashekharan Pandya, who ruled from 1268 to 1308 and was a very powerful ruler. So I just get my mouse pointer on. So he had a large part of Sri Lanka or Ceylon under his control as well. They were semi-autonomous again, but they paid tributes to Kulashekharan Pandya. Now his death in 1308 sparked a civil war between his two sons, and one of which was Jatavarman Sundara Pandya, and the other one was Jatavarman Veera Pandya. So there was quite a big fratricidal war. But before that, the Pandya kingdom, it stretched from right from Kerala. Again, the Cheras were semi-autonomous, so they were what is known as tributaries rather than governors. So they were semi-autonomous, and it went on to the Andhra coast. So you can see Krishna, Godavari, and right up to parts of Orissa. So quite a wide extent, and this was again a very powerful trading empire. So they had very rich and flourishing seaports because all the traffic from the coast of Africa, Arabia, going up to China, and the Shri Vijaya Empire, and the different empires of Southeast Asia used to pass through here. So they were astride a very flourishing and rich sea trade route, and this was reflected in the army as well, because the Pandya army had a lot of Arab mercenaries, so especially Arab cavalry. Now India was never a very great country for these foreign breeds of horses. So Indian breeds of horses, you got Marwadi and a few other, they are quite hardy and tough. But the foreign breeds of horses, they can't withstand the Indian conditions. So the rate of them dying out is pretty high, which was why throughout history, to maintain cavalry forces, Indian kingdoms or empires had to import a lot of horses, usually from Arabia or from Central Asia. Even these Muslim Turks who invaded from Central Asia and who broke through under Muhammad Ghori, in the beginning they were replenished regularly by cavalry forces coming from Central Asia, from Persia, but eventually they ran into the same problem, that they had to maintain these cavalry forces at a very high cost because horses were very expensive. Okay, and the Pandyan army was very powerful with a large cavalry force and over 1,000 elephants. So very powerful. Their capital was at Madurai, and one of the chief ports, I'm not sure where it is today, it was called Veer Dhavalapattanam, or the Muslim chroniclers called it Bir Dhul. Okay, so this was the Pandya kingdom, and this is again a snapshot from Wikipedia of Madurai. This is present day Madurai, obviously, and Madurai Meenakshi Amman temple, a very famous temple and a very beautiful one as there as well. I've been there many years back, and the Madurai temple is very special because it's almost all old temples of Tamil Nadu are actually very beautiful, but this one is very special because this is almost like a fortified city within itself. And Madurai was known as Dakshina Mathura. Basically, that was how Madurai came to be. So let's move on to Malik Kafur's attack on Dwara Samudram. Okay, so this is again a map which I have pinched from the last set of slides, and I'll continue with this map in the next part of this series as well, because we'll be looking at Kafur's attack on the Pandya Kingdom. So we saw that Kafur started from Siri, which is old Delhi, and by route of Agra, Chanderi in Madhya Pradesh, Achalpur, Maharashtra. So this was the traditional route because you had the Vindhya mountains over here, and there was a pass, and the first town or city which you hit after the pass was Achalpur. Then it moved on to Devgiri, Daulatabad, Pandharpur, and into the Hoysala domains. So now when Kafur attacked Dwara Samudra on 25th February 1311, okay, Veer Ballala the third, or Veer Ballala Tritiya, who was the king of the Hoysala domains. Now he was around 50 years of age in that time period. So he was away, trying to attack Pandya country, because there was this civil war between the two brothers. So he saw that as an opportunity to kind of grab some territory from there, because Kulashekara Pandyan had actually pushed Ballala's domains further back towards Karnataka, and Ballala had lost a little bit of region in the Pandya domains. So just bear with me, let me just get some water. Now again, I make this point again and again that despite what you read in a lot of history books, it was not like Malik Kafur got up one morning in Siri and decided he was suddenly going to go all the way down south, traversing thousands of kilometers before automobiles, which would take months to get there. Plus you had a lot of hardships along the way, difficult passes, hostile country, Hindu rulers from all around attacking your forces. So this was excuse me. So this was pre-planned for a long time, and they had the Muslims had a very good intelligence network. So Kafur, for example, sent 4 officers along with interpreters who could speak the local languages, which was ancient Kannada, excuse me, into the Hoysala kingdom to find out what was exactly was going on. And once he came to know that Veer Ballala was actually campaigning down south, he straight away rushed to Dwara Samudram and laid siege to the capital itself. So Veer Ballala had to kind of raise or return back from Tamil country and move to Dwara Samudram or Halibid. Now this seems to have been the pattern in that age. Excuse me. This seems to have been the pattern in that age, that before the fighting actually began, even like today, you have these diplomatic embassies, diplomats going to the opposite camp. So Veer Ballala sent one of his key ministers, Keshava Malla, to Malik Kafur's camp, and Keshava Malla observed this camp and he gave a report that the forces were too powerful to fight. And by this time, Veer Ballala had also been reinforced by some contingents sent by Veer Pandya. But Veer Ballala decided not to fight, and he negotiated with Malik Kafur, and he gave a large part of his treasure as kind of indemnity, or hafta, to Malik Kafur not to attack him. So what Kafur did was he put 2 conditions. That one, Veer Ballala had to send his son Veera Virupaksha Ballala to Delhi with him as a hostage. So this was a practice to take royal hostages, usually princes of the ruling family. The second one was that Veer Ballala had to guide Malik Kafur's forces into Pandya Kingdom, because that was the next target. And see, this practice of sending diplomats or ministers to enemy's camp before the battle was practice of that age, because if we remember from a few episodes back, When Jalore was attacked in after the invasion of Gujarat and the destruction of Somnath in 1299, 1300, uh, Kanadade, the ruler of Jalore, sent a few of his key ministers and commanders to actually observe the Muslim camp. And Ulugh Khan, he actually welcomed them and he gave them a tour of the whole camp to awe them with how powerful the Khilji army was. So this was a practice. You could say this was kind of some of the unwritten rules of war. Okay, so this was it for this time. Sorry for my throat again getting itchy and scratchy. And in the next part, we will have a look at the attack on the Pandya Kingdom. So, friends, thank you for watching. Hariom, and I'll see you next time.